What? Yeah. No, I'm behaving myself. No, I'm not playing in abandoned buildings. What? Again? Now, I suppose you had those people follow me again. Fine. Hey, this is Jimmy Pharaoh from Monte The Pharaoh, and I want to thank all our subscribers. We have now passed 14,000 on our YouTube channel. But I want to ask our subscribers to take the next step for us and become a full-fledged member of Monte The Pharaoh. Yeah, that's right, folks. There's 3 different levels to choose from. There's free shirts. There's free autographs. Just check it out and become a member of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh. Later.
All right, welcome to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV, straight out of Ronkonkoma, Long Island. Jared, at the board, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How's everyone doing?
All right, first day of fall, and Jared's in shorts and looking young and got his shit together. On the couch is Bruce from ESO Creative. Bruce, welcome aboard.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Thursday.
Bruce will be filling in for me starting next week for the next couple of weeks. So it'll be Bruce and the Pharaoh, or ESO and the Pharaoh, however you want to call it. And so that should be fun. You guys will do a fantastic job, I am sure.
Thank you.
All right, guys, real quick, want to weigh in on a few things. Well, let's just do a quick roll call.
Roll call. Roll call.
Who do we got in the house right now? We've got PJ. PJ, how are you?
What
Jason, how are you?
What up, Jason?
Let's see. ESO is on the couch.
Oh, there he is. What up, ESO?
I know that Rick B is here. I know RJ Hudson. How are you, buddy?
What is up? What is up?
Don the Barber in the house. Don, how are you?
the
Little
Barber.
Patty, good to see you, my friend. I know Maria Davis said she wrote me she's having a party, so she's going to miss the show.
She's having a party.
And
Gonna have a
what
good time.
other news? Oh, so I think Jason wrote earlier
Okay.
that, and then Jason, if I'm wrong, I apologize. Hey, Phil, how are you? Good to see you. Phil's in the house.
What is up, Mr. Phil?
So they're all coming together. And Jason, if I'm wrong, Dan Marotti would have been 42 years old today.
Gotcha.
So again, very, very sad time when that happened, right? Bruce, did you watch Boston wrestling when you were?
I actually I found Boston wrestling before I found you guys.
Okay, so tell us, like, how did that all go? Like,
I had just I found it while just searching for some wrestling stuff.
so
it was a little bit
ask me
different.
how that works. So you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You're searching.
Yeah, I'm an
And-
old school wrestling fan.
Right. So you're looking up, like, you might have a favorite, like.
Yeah, I started watching some old shoot interviews,
Okay.
and then I found Party with Marty, and started watching that. And unfortunately, with everything that went down in that, and
So what was the attractiveness of Party with Marty for you?
for me, I grew up watching the Midnight Rockers in AWA, then watching the Rockers in the WWF, and being a big fan. I mean, I remember being like 8, 9 years old, jumping off my parents' bed, trying to imitate Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
What do you think of the Kevin Nash Click This podcast that's come out? Have you watched that?
I haven't had a chance, no.
I like him, personally. I think Kevin Nash is pretty good.
Donna Barber just received a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tonight. Congratulations.
Wow. Way to go. He's on the.
So you're watching Boston wrestling. What other
squad.
stuff did you watch?
Well, just some old shoot interviews, and then
Did you watch Hannibal at all?
I have watched Hannibal. Not going to say I'm a fan of his,
Well,
but
when you want to take a nap, or like when you're feeling sleepy, drowsy, you want to throw on a Hannibal interview, maybe like
exactly.
Yeah, he's
Exactly. And then I found you guys, and it was kind of in that feud era where you guys were having some issues with with Boston wrestling. And,
so that's how you found us when that started,
yeah,
right?
that's about
go.
when I came over, and you can see where my loyalty lies.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, man.
You know, what's funny about that whole thing, again, how that whole thing had started was, I think it started with Tony,
Of course.
right? And then
Yeah.
Tony had that phone call with us.
Right.
And then
Marty came
you know, it was
later.
pretty
There some
benign. It was a
Marty.
benign conversation with Tony. I remember Dan was saying we were trying to prod him into saying something, but we weren't. We just wanted to know the truth. And then with the Marty thing, fans wrote us about that whole thing, and you know, and when I called Marty's like, I want to come on, and that's when it all started,
Yep.
right? The Thursday Night War started.
Yep.
So
How is he doing? Have you talked to him?
I have not talked to Marty in about 2 weeks because you know I'm just going through a lot of shit myself, so
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
hard to get anything done.
Yep.
I know he was in really bad way a couple of weeks ago. I had to call him. He was very upset. But it seems like he was getting better. I did see some people promoting him coming up to New York, which I just don't think is going to happen. I don't know how you're going to promote this guy.
Right.
He's still trying to recover, right? He's
Right.
having a lot of different issues,
Right.
you know.
You know, one of our other buddies, Buff Bagwell's having some issues too.
Yeah, what do you hear?
Well, I had heard that he was, he had gone to DDP for help, and now he's pulled himself out of DDP's rehab program. So I'm really not sure what's up with Buff. I hope he's still the stuff.
Maybe you guys can get him on next week and discuss
Yeah, I
it.
hope he's doing all right. That's a good idea.
Not
That's
a bad
good,
idea.
That's a good idea.
All right, guys. Spirit Airline employees charged with pocketing $283,000 in reservation scheme.
What?
3 former Spirit Airline employees were charged this week with a scheme to profit off passengers looking to get cheaper flights. An indictment in Pennsylvania, and off we go. Thoughts, guys?
Yeah, they just should have rolled themselves some joints. They would have gotten onto an awesome flight. What are they got to get taken advantage of for? Who does shit like this anyway?
People looking to steal money.
Right.
People
Holy
do
scum.
anything to try and get one over.
Yeah, but did you see their airplane? It's very yellow. It's like Hulkamania yellow, the Spirit Airlines plane. You know? Yeah, I bet you they almost pay you to go on that thing. Look at that thing. Anyway, I don't know.
Bruce, have you ever been around people that have stole a large amount of money?
Not that I know of.
Your life's been good to
Well,
you so
I don't
far.
know. The present company, I'm not so sure of.
Wait a minute!
There you go.
Oh my God!
Chicago woman throws 3-year-old nephew off the pier and watch as he drowns. An Illinois woman with history of mental illness was charged with the attempted first-degree murder after she threw her 3-year-old nephew off the pier and stared at him as he started to sink. Good news is I think this 3-year-old has survived.
What? Really?
Yeah. He struggled to stay afloat, but soon his head went onto water. 2 witnesses told the Sun-Times they were walking when they heard a splash and noticed the toddler was floating on his back. It seemed disorientated, a little out of it, and scared out of his mind. So the kid survived.
Thank God. I asked Spidey Jared not to put a picture up of the piece of shit that threw a 3-year-old into the water. I mean, what say does a 3-year-old have? Talk about evil. This is evil personified to me. I can't, usually sometimes you'll give me a bad story, I can find a joke.
Right.
There ain't no joke happening here, my friend. That's fucking disgusting.
I just don't.
I have nothing other than that.
Again, but to your point,
Sickening.
mental illness is a problem.
It
right?
is a problem, and we've decided to give everybody a pill and tell them to go home and watch cable television. Reopen psych centers. Sure, we can learn from the past that sometimes they were run like a prison. Okay, let's take a little off the fastball, learn from history, and reopen psych centers because mental illness, these Columbines, these Sandy Hooks, these in the the Batman movie theater, in a church, for God's sakes, we've seen it happen down south. Enough. There's some sick people out there. We all claim to be so sensitive today to everything. Well, why don't we show some true sensitivity and open up psych centers again and show that we give a shit about each other? Why don't you think about it for a while, folks? Maybe.
Can't carry on that.
Done.
If you didn't know, that is the start of the show, Mr. Jimmy Farrow. Jimmy, along with his partner, Bart Griggs, make up the band Wisteria Hall.
What? Man!
See, this is where, you just Tony Condit.
I did.
So we were
I was
talking.
hulking
We
it
were
up for
talking
you.
on This Week in Wrestling how MJF pushed Tony Schiavone down, and it was a great opportunity
Right.
for like a Taz or even an Excalibur
Okay.
to
What do you
go
get
after MJF for attacking their partner,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So here you are.
You're introducing the
It's
band like you do every
introduce your
week.
band.
And I do
And
the Bartman.
here you
just-
got ESO right here. He could have done the Bartman today. You Tony Condon.
Now, hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Considering you want to throw me under the bus like this with no notice whatsoever, my childhood friend, do me a favor. Hit the high note. Give me...
Bartman!
See, but it was an opportunity.
Yeah, it was
Did
an
I know it was
opportunity.
going to be a failed opportunity? No.
Hey.
Hey, now he's throwing you under the bus.
Hey, I
Okay.
never said I had a high-pitched
Bruce,
voice
you're
there.
officially indoctrinated. Defend yourself. What the frig, bro? Anyway,
You can hear Wisteria's songs.
That's where you can hear us. Listen to
Wisteria songs such as "In My Dreams," "This Life," not hard, far beyond. Here comes the rain. And
Not hard from far behind. What's the name of that
Whoa.
song?
Whoa,
What?
whoa!
That was clean. They can't touch
You can
that
find
one.
their
What is
music
that?
on
Did
the
my
Wisteria
phone
Hall
just go off?
YouTube
Hello?
page.
Stop! We have total
It-
chaos
like it's
going on.
Like it's
Shut
subscribed
it up.
Spotify, iTunes, and Reverb Nation, not iTunes.
Watch,
but Apple
listen,
Music.
check us out.
All right, if you didn't know, you were
Hey.
watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast,
great.
Monte The Pharaoh. You can catch us on the Monte The Pharaoh YouTube page, Monte The Pharaoh Facebook Live page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, the Monte The Pharaoh Twitch TV page,
You
Channel
should do
15.
commercials where you talk really fast. That guy that
Every
talks really
Tuesday
fast.
at 9:30 and every Saturday at 11:30 and Channel 20 Tuesdays at 1 a.m.
We'll get right back with Monty the
We'll,
Pharaoh presents
we'll
Peter
be
Bill. That's not-
right
that's last
back
week's.
with Monte The Pharaoh present ESO Creative, the introduction.
See you in a creative second. Elm Logistics. For all your logistic needs, call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics. Pride, performance, and partnerships. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here at Indie Music TV, straight out of Ronkonkoma, Long Island, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Bruce, comments out there, buddy.
Yeah, well, we've got Rick B talking about Aaron Judge and his record going out there. It looks like he's listening to us and the radio at the same time.
Pharaoh,
Hey,
Aaron Judge.
Oh, I'm glad you gave me this spot. We talked about this a couple of weeks back, and I'm going to hammer this home. What Aaron Judge is doing, and what Aaron Judge did the other night when he hit number 60, besides put chills all up and down my soul, because that was just an amazing moment if you're a baseball fan, and even more amazing if you're a Yankee fan. A couple of weeks back, we discussed, would Babe Ruth, possibly be able to come into today's landscape and still hit the way he did? And you remember what I said? I said, absolutely. The guy was a phenom. He hit more home runs in one season than an entire league did. 2 times in his career he did this. He had more home runs than the entire league, which is unbelievable. Do you realize that it took 95 years, 95 years for someone in the American League to tie Babe Ruth? So that's why I believe that today Babe Ruth could hit. Because with all these modern medicines and with all these great power hitters we've seen in the last 30 to 40 years alone, it took 95 years. And the fact that this man is a right-handed hitter, by the way, in Yankee Stadium, to hit 60 home runs for the Yankees, to tie an American League, 154-game record, by the way. Wow. Aaron Judge is having the greatest season in my lifetime for the New York Yankees, and I am honored to watch him. I'm glad I got to see him earlier this year, and of course he played a good game. He is the best, and he is going to make the Yankees pay every last cheap Steinbrenner penny, and that's not a reference to the great George. That's a reference to the cheap kid. Every last penny, they better keep him. And that's my take on that. Aaron Judge, man, what do you think? 60 home runs? And you know he's going to pass he's going to get to 62. He's going to pass Roger.
Well, again, I'm totally vested in it.
Yeah.
I want to see this man.
He's carried them.
I want to see this man break that record.
He's a good man, too, right?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I mean, good role model. He's been nothing but a good role model. You think the Yankees made a huge mistake not giving him the money in the offseason? It's all 2020 now. I understand that.
They'll give him the money. They'll give him the money.
I hope so.
Donna Barber says Ruth, Marriage, Judge all played right field and now break the same record.
Amazing. That is amazing. Amazing coincidence.
Jason's weighing in. The movie Ed Wood about the cult movie director is free on YouTube right now. George
Nice.
Steele is it playing Tor Johnson and pro wrestler. Not a bad movie.
Ed
Bruce,
Wood.
Ed Wood, you ever watch Ed Wood?
No, sorry, I haven't seen it.
Bruce, you got to get your game up. We got to get your game up. You're gonna be here every week. You got to be watching these movies, right? So Ed Wood, get it on your log.
You got it.
You see Ed Wood?
Yeah, and I remember that the fellow who played Lugosi, if I'm not mistaken, was from Space 1999.
I think you're right.
Wow, was that an amazing performance? Wow, what a great movie. And by the way, Ed Wood rocks. You ever seen his old movies like Plan 9 from
Terrible.
Outer Space? It cost like $6.
Terrible.
Of course it's terrible. That's the whole point. It's one of the best terrible movies you will ever see. It's awful.
All right. So last night,
Yeah.
Soraya, am I saying it
You
right?
have Soraya? I'm sorry to hear that.
Soraya
Some cream
made her
takes care of that.
debut on AEW Grand Slam.
Oh, turn the page.
Paige's contract with WWE expired this year. She's allowed to
Right.
walk out with being offered a new deal on the old regime. However, hours before she took a shock appearance at AEW last night, rumors of Paige returning to the WWE started to circulate. I did not know this. Latest news on Soraya, formerly known as Paige, last night Fightful Select reported that it was believed that a new WWE leadership team, which was led by Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan, and Triple H, wanted to rehire Paige. They also believe that WWE would also be interested in bringing her back, considering her the new regime. It is unclear whether or not Triple H, as part of his mission, was to bring back several former WWE stars. Even reached out to Paige, but it seems like the wrestling giant at least thought about asking her to return. The same report also noted Paige had reached out. AEW had reached out to Paige during the summer. Okay, so guys, first of all, good move for AEW, bad move, thoughts?
Absolutely. Anytime you could get a person of that caliber in, take it.
Agreed. I mean, it's good for AEW. How much is she really going to wrestle, though, remains to be very much unknown. I wouldn't think that much.
Phil says Martin Landau.
Yeah,
He's
Martin
right.
Landau.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
there you go. Yeah, I don't know how much she intends to wrestle. I could see the WWE wanting her back, but in what role? I mean, I don't think she really killed it with just the mic.
If the WWE
I think you need her in the ring,
If the WWE
you know?
wanted her back,
They
she
would've
would
gotten
not
her.
have showed up last night.
Right.
So
I agree
that's
with
got to
that.
be a false rumor.
Yeah, I
okay?
agree. I agree.
On the other hand, Paige is going to put we discussed this on This Week of Wrestling. Paige is going to put her life on the line against these women in AEW.
Might not be a good idea.
It's a problem.
Yeah, it might
It's
not
a
be
problem.
a good idea. I think they're angling her towards a program with Britt, and they're going to play it safe. And it might be short and sweet. Who knows? This could just be another instant cash grab for Tony Khan, and then she falls into the back, and you ask yourself 3 months later, gee, what happened to Paige? Or was it Soraya? Or did Paige get Soraya, and now she's not feeling well?
Leo's saying all the fancy clothes, big college words, wealth, women, power have went to Monte and the Pharaoh's head.
Yeah, man, we're spiffy.
By the way,
We are spiffy.
we are pretty spiffy.
We are wearing
Am I on it?
ESO creative spiffiness.
Listen, I want you know what? This is kind of off script, but I want to bring it up. I think this is a really good conversation. It was just brought up. Someone asked, did anyone listen to Cornette tear up Hannibal on his channel?
Can't say I did.
And then
No.
Phil responded, I'm sure Cornette has a lot of skeletons in his closet. Bruce,
Like Jason
thoughts
and the
on
Argonauts.
Hannibal and Jim
Skeletons.
Cornette?
I don't even know where to start with Hannibal. Probably one of the least talented independent wrestlers out there. When you have to pay to have an opponent come in and face you, that's an issue. right away. I mean, that's sad. Jim Cornette's a legend in this industry. May not always agree with him on some things, but when it comes to wrestling history, there's nobody that can outdo Jim Cornette.
He's a vault of information. That's for shit sure.
I was thinking about this as you were talking, right? So Hannibal obviously has his legal problems now. He's kind of dissipating. I don't see a lot of videos coming from him anymore.
He's eating a lot of mom's brownies.
Well, that's true. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, thank you.
The one thing I was thinking about is Hannibal seemed like a smart guy, right? From what I understand, he was making a living off of YouTube, which that's an impressive thing to do. The one thing I noticed, though, is he never put himself on audio. And audio is another revenue generator. And again, let's be realistic here. As much as we love to have our faces on a camera and people, and be able to go back and forth with each other on, on a camera, most people want to listen to audio, right? Because they don't have time to watch TV and listen, right?
But let's be realistic. How well would Hannibal have done on audio?
Horrendous.
I mean,
you have to be even more engaging, than just the visuals. Like a visual can definitely enhance your boring factor. Although I don't believe it works in his case anyway. I mean, either way, visually or audio-wise, I'm taking a nap, but that's just me.
He has like two tones. He has low and lower.
Yeah.
But you can't disagree with his success, right?
No.
Worcester Sauce says they are no sellouts. Their sunglasses at night are high quality specs. Yes, they are. Go to www.montethepharaoh.com for $8.99. Get your own pair of Monte The Pharaoh sunglasses at night. Jason says Hannibal was a horrible wrestler. Leo saying, who's the guest? He seems like a college professor, some big shot lawyer. Bruce. Thoughts on Cornette?
Well,
on the other hand,
I agree with what he said. I mean, Cornette is just a never-ending vault of information. Sometimes his opinions, he's an absolute jackass, and other times he's spot on. But I think that mostly that's your perception. There's certain things that I would think he's a jackass over that other people would agree with, and vice versa. He's a very interesting cat. He's very, very wrestling-wise brilliant. But sometimes completely unreasonable.
RJ says Hannibal on audio sounds like a great audio for if you have trouble sleeping.
Absolutely. It's like ocean waves for 8 hours.
What's the difference between listening to him on video or listening to him on audio?
Like I said, I don't think it helps him either way.
You can't.
It does not help him.
He is successful.
It doesn't matter. Listen, the White Castle hamburger is not exactly a filet mignon, but for some reason it sells. I can't explain it. I don't know.
Now, is it his videos that are selling, or the ones that he's buying from other people that he's redistributing that are getting the views?
What do you mean?
Well, he does some interviews, but the majority of the content that goes up on his page is other people's interviews.
I still think I feel like he does pretty well when he does his own. Though he does get a lot of views, but I can't say I have an explanation for it. I really don't. Because I don't see super and get. What's your take when you watch one? Or is that when you call me and you're snoring?
I honestly, wow, that's a really good question.
That's rough.
I honestly have trouble watching his interviews. I will tell this: if you're a pure wrestling fan, it's a good interview for the fact that if you just want to listen to wrestling shit, like, hey, 1978, you did this. There's an audience for that. Right? That's not the audience we want or ever wanted, right?
Right.
I mean,
we want conversations.
And as a listener myself,
we want conversations.
We
don't want robotic bullshit.
I'm interested in that stuff, but only at a small level. I find it more interesting, not necessarily about the dirt, but I'll listen to some podcast, they'll be talking to someone, and they may bring up a story
that you knew nothing about.
That you just knew nothing about. It doesn't even have to be a dirty story. It could be a story about anything.
Right.
Oh, you guys, your show humanizes the wrestler and allows us to get to know them on the other side.
Thank you.
Right. I mean, that's the goal.
Right.
How about Sean Oliver, for example, as a podcaster?
Okay.
Have you listened to Sean Oliver?
No, I haven't.
I have.
Okay, your thoughts on Sean Oliver?
I tend to think he's okay. He's fairly professional. You know what I mean? As far as his deal, I mean, he looks the part, correct? I mean,
looks the part.
He looks the part. I think he's fine. Quite honestly, I think he's fine. I've never found him to be. I'm going to say he's fine. He's okay.
Is it something you listen to?
You know me, bro. I don't sit there and listen to anything too much. You know, I really don't.
Little Patty says, I like Cornette, but sometimes he reminds me of the Mouse of South Jimmy Hart. This is true.
That's fair. Yeah.
Here's a good one I'm going to ask you about. And Roy, I love you, but we're going to go at it a little bit here. He says John Paz is a great interviewer.
I have no idea.
So John Paz is
No idea.
part of the two-man power trip. He's also puts his shows on Hannibal.
Oh, okay. No,
John
okay.
Paz, amazingly enough, gets a lot of wrestlers that other people don't get. He had Hogan, Flair,
Okay.
which was very surprising.
Okay. Okay.
Jason also says John Paz is a good listen to.
Okay.
Phil says Roy Batiste. Hey Roy, yes, I like John Paz. He's really good.
Okay.
I will tell
I
you.
don't think I know enough to really say too much.
I'm not a big John Paz fan. I think John Paz is more in the discussion of Hannibal. He sticks to the pure wrestling part of it.
Okay.
He doesn't outshine his guest, which is good. But for me, guys, he's not one of my favorites to listen to. I like Sean Oliver. I think Sean Oliver has a little shtick along with what he's got.
Yeah.
Cornette could be a little overbearing.
I do enjoy listening to Jim Cornette. Even when I'm mad at him, I'll listen to Jim Cornette.
All right, how about the
He's good
English
listen.
kid, WSL?
Kids carried himself fine. I do think it's on the bland side between me and you. I think it's a little bland. Especially when he was doing them, and I made fun of this many times with him in Morocco.
Right.
So, Don, tell us about,
Right.
Well, now he's doing Dutch. Now I keep
Now he's
seeing him
got
at Dutch
Dutch.
Mantel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because.
What do you do? You like that Dutch Mantel?
I watch some of it. Just some. Some of his old stories are pretty entertaining.
I like to listen to Dutch myself. I mean, I find him an engaging listen. Like, for example, if you put him on audio, I could listen to Dutch Mantel talk.
How much shit can you get out of Dutch Mantel?
The same stories.
The guy seems like he's been everywhere. It's like
Yeah,
Dutch Mantel. What do
kind
you
of
think of
has.
this? Dutch Mantel. What do you think of this?
Right.
But was he a great wrestling mind? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I can't say as far as is he a great wrestling mind. I do find him an interesting listen. He's fine.
PJ says digging ESO on the show reminds me of the old Howard Stern show with a little extra.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Total Disaster wants to know what was the deal with Big Ron Shaw getting angry at you guys?
You punk! You punk! I'm gonna come down there, Monty, and well, first I'm gonna tip everybody off, and then I'm gonna come down there and, hello, Monty? Monty? I had to. There's a little bit of an inside joke going on there, but you punk! I love that Ron Shaw. I love Ron
Pharaoh
Shaw.
wanted Ron Shaw
I love
on,
Ron
and
Shaw.
Ron Shaw.
Ron Shaw rocks.
Ron Shaw, before we
punk.
went on, I met with him about a week before, and he was giving me rules on what to ask him. And I said to him, basically, like, dude, I don't really give a shit if you come up with, well, due respect, I like you, Ron Shaw, I grew up on you,
Right.
but I don't like you that much. So I'm not going to allow you to tell me what we could ask you. You can decline to answer.
Right.
So this went back and forth for a while,
Right,
so I said
right.
to Pharaoh, I don't want him on a fucking show. So finally, Pharaoh calls him, and they work out some sort of deal.
Yeah.
And
Big Ron
he
Shaw.
was
Is this Big Ron
He was
Shaw?
being Ron Shaw a dick.
That
So
was rough. You punk.
Bain,
was
Bain
classic.
says that when Hannibal came to Hoboken, he's filming himself making low-life comments to a young girl and throwing his beer bottle.
Who did this?
It's too bad that Hoboken cops weren't there to see it. Hannibal.
Hannibal? Boy, oh boy. Hannibal and Hoboken, not a good combo. I could see that one turning out into disaster. Hope he didn't stop by Bayonne. Wouldn't have lasted 2 seconds over there either.
The only thing he's got for him there is size.
Ugh, it's rough in Bayonne.
So
Don't fuck
back
with
to
Jersey,
Dutch
man.
Mantel. Dutch Mantel's full of opinions, right?
full of
I
other-
do listen to him.
He's full of other
He
things
just seems
too.
to be a very
All right, so
entertaining,
I'm
charismatic.
going to give you guys choices.
Yosemite Sam.
Here we go.
Look at him.
Paz, Hannibal,
Yeah.
James the English Kid,
Sean Oliver.
Sean Oliver.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Hold on. We'll go one more.
So far, I like Sean
How about
Oliver.
Don Tony?
Stop it.
Have you listened to Don
No,
Tony?
Would you stop?
I know the name. I'm trying to picture which.
Don Tony was a guy who, I guess he tried to be a wrestler, and he's been in this podcasting thing, and way before that, since 1990.
Right.
Has his niche audience. He was on, there was a Don Tony Kevin Castle show. They would do a show together. They were pretty good. Kevin Castle seems like a really good guy.
Correct.
You're not a
Correct.
fan of Don Tony?
No. No.
How come? Did you ever listen at all?
Yeah, I have. I've tried, and I just I tap out.
Why?
Because it doesn't take me anywhere. I'm not going to sit there and listen to some guy talk to me about fucking SmackDown for an hour and a half. I'm not.
So that's the problem
You're
you
fucking
have.
boring the fuck out of me.
Right.
No. And it's not a show. It's just, I love how everything gets called a show.
So what's he?
This is a show.
He's doing recap.
It's just the same
There's
shit.
an
Everyone
audience
is-
for recap, man.
And
There's
that's
an audience
fine
for
if
recap.
that's
Again,
what you
something
want.
you want to do, that's fine. All right.
Now,
so,
you know who my favorites are.
Yes.
I have a couple of favorites. I love Wrestling with Regret. I happen to love that kid. I think that he's excellent.
Why?
He just
That's
because he
a
puts
recap
on
show, right?
It is, but he puts on a great production. You know, you got video replay, you got all sorts of stuff. He's got a good sense of humor. He's worked in the business. He's not done that much, but he's tried. He's done. I give him A for effort. I like his product. He's intelligent. I like how he puts things historically. He's got pay-per-view sections. He's got everything. It's easy to get through his channel. You know, navigation is another thing, right? Doesn't that count for something?
Hold on.
When you get to somebody's
Got to
page,
add somebody
you
else.
want to know what the hell
Very
you're looking
popular
at.
in audio land.
What do you got?
Total disaster. Well, so Roy Batiste says Kevin Sullivan said Hannibal had a shaky childhood. Roy, I could tell you if you only heard what me and Pharaoh heard from Sullivan about Hannibal, you would be shocked. Jason says Sullivan's good. Listen, Total Disaster wants to know about John Arizzi. Thoughts on John Arizzi as an interviewer?
Don't have many. I haven't said. I had never went back and looked at all of his old stuff.
Well, he's got a show every week now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Well, here's my simple thing.
Almost too many.
When you have a guest on a show and you spend the weekend with them doing promotional stuff and then they don't even say goodbye to you, I would not have any idea that he's got a show right now. Because until he says goodbye, he can fuck off and die.
Bruce, have you ever listened to John Arizzi?
No, I haven't.
All right.
There you go.
R.J.
He's a household
Hudson,
name.
what about Conrad?
Yeah, Conrad is all over.
I'm not a
But
fan.
I can't say I'm a fan of his, but
a
I mean,
fan.
he's got his fingers in how many podcasts?
Yeah. Not a fan. Not a fan of Conrad. I am a fan of Simon from What Culture. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's excellent. And he does recaps, but he's got a great sense of humor. And he's got a ranking system, and he makes sense. He's also an optimistic wrestling fan, and
Somebody
I need that
I'm-
once in a while.
I'm not a fan of, I wasn't a fan of, but I'm a fan of his podcast, is Eric Bischoff there.
I like Eric Bischoff. I'll listen to Eric Bischoff.
Bischoff's a good listen.
I'll listen to Eric Bischoff. He's good.
How about Flair?
I like listening to Ric Flair. I'll give you that.
Sometimes.
What do you think of Flair? I think he's a good listen. Ric Flair? He's
It's good,
listen.
but I would agree with Bruce on this sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes Flair's he's off his game.
Right.
He's an older guy, right? So he's not always going to be on his
You
game.
know who I can't stomach? Vince Russo's podcast.
Being-
No, I'm serious. I
terrible.
cannot
is.
stomach
Terrible.
Vince Russo's fucked up podcast.
So bad.
It's awful, dude.
How about Busted Open Radio?
Not garbage. Shit.
It depends.
I listen to it every morning, right?
I know
'Cause
you
I'm
do.
working,
and
right?
I make fun of you.
I know you
I
do.
call you up and I say, you're listening to him, aren't you?
I'm not a fan.
I can tell you're listening to them. I call you up from my house. I'm feeding my cats.
Bane wants to know what we thought of the Don Morocco podcast.
Can I give my input?
God.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. It was all right.
Don Morocco, shockingly enough, for a guy I grew up on and loved,
Who was oozing with charisma.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
it was so,
Snorefest.
Snorefest.
Could
Which
you
is a
imagine?
shame.
So
Hey, could you
bad.
imagine Hannibal interviewing Don Morocco?
Oh my God! They'd both fall asleep.
Oh
Wouldn't that
my
be
God.
great? Like you start
Yeah.
asking, like after 5 minutes, like the questions start slurring, the answers are slurring, and they both fall asleep.
Seems like
and then
everybody-
the last 45 minutes of the episode
Yeah.
is them like this, with like drool. I could see it. That'd be
Well,
great.
what about the kid from England though? Like,
He's definitely not exciting. I understand what you're getting at. Yeah,
He's
dry.
not, but he does. He
Kid loves wrestling. I got to give him that.
He
Patrick
seems to
Rowan.
get he seems to get a lot out of people.
No, he's
Yeah,
fine.
but
He's
again,
fine.
dude. Okay, so
But
here's
very
what I
downplayed, though.
Here's what I understand: a lot of these guys, they get these guys booked weekly, and they pay them, right? Because they're getting paid from YouTube and getting paid from all this thing, and it must be worth it to them, right? Because they're generating enough revenue. I don't think the kid. Total Disaster says you could fill a book with the things Don Morocco does not know. Jason said about Bruce Pritchard's one of his favorites. I like
Bruce is
Bruce
good.
Pritchard.
Yes, agreed. Bruce is good. Bruce Pritchard. Yep. Yeah,
Let's
he's a good
see.
listen. It's a good listen.
How about Andre the Giant? Patrick Rowe wants to know about Andre the Giant's podcast.
Good evening. You want for Andre the Giant? What was that? I don't know, but whatever he said. Go on, Dre.
PJ says, Bruce, are you doing any new shirts for us?
Oh, is that PJ Taints there?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm always creating new stuff, so you never know.
You know what's pretty cool? I was thinking about this. You can just make your own shit.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to the Jet game, you break out a black shirt.
Exactly.
Can you do one of those? And just, like, slap it. Boom, he's got himself a Jet shirt. Oh, I'll go to a Ranger game. I'll just go make myself a Ranger shirt.
I got a little story with PJ Taints. I actually met up with him when I went to MSG for the first Raw after Triple H took over.
Okay.
And I ended up giving him I had made these custom shirts for the day for me and my friends that said, "Thank you, Vince."
Nice.
And
nice.
they were really nice shirts.
I gotta see one of those. That's
PJ,
nice.
I gave one to PJ, but we were walking around the city, and everybody's like, "Where did you get that? Where did you get that?"
Yeah.
And all through the building, they're like, "Well, which stand had that one? Which stand had that
Right.
one?"
Right.
Very cool.
But yep. You can make your own deal no matter what you're doing. Hey, I'm going to Iron Maiden soon. Can you,
Absolutely.
How about Jeff Jarrett, Road Dogg? Both of their podcasts. Jarrett I like. Road Dogg I like.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good
I haven't
talkers.
really. I've watched Road Dogg a little bit. I haven't watched Jarrett's.
Yeah.
How
they're
about
good.
Wolfie D's podcast?
What?
Wolfie D's.
I haven't seen Wolfie D's.
He's not on YouTube.
Wait a minute! I
He's
thought you
audio,
told
though.
me that he's showing up at conventions
Yes.
and walking up to the table, and it's like a surprise interview for free. I asked you, did Kevin Nash throw anything at him? Because I could see him going up to Kevin Nash.
It's
and be like,
very,
"Get
it's
the
very,
fuck."
it's very well. It's
Executed?
very well. Like he was very artsy even on our channel when he was doing his show.
He was!
Yeah, he
Always
was
trying to be
very
creative.
artsy.
Always trying to bring something new.
Yeah.
He's very
Yeah.
artsy. I got to give the guy credit. He's very
Yeah.
artsy. Chris Lee asked, "How
Hello,
about
mate.
Damian Kane's podcast?"
Chris, I say hello, mate, every week to you, and every week you bring up Damian Kane. What are you trying to do to me? What was that, Damian Kane?
All right,
we
you guys are on a desert
1995.
island. You're on a desert island. You got to pick one podcast. That's the only one you can
On
listen
a
to.
desert
What are you
pod-
listening to?
Go ahead.
Monte the Pharaoh.
There you go.
Boy, I hate to sound self-serving, but I'm listening to us. I want to listen to you.
I would listen to
I'm sorry.
I would listen to WSI with that kid James only if his mother would come in there naked and rub his titties on his face.
His titties?
Our titties.
Wow! How did that kid get born?
On his face. Suck these. It's been a while.
That's awful.
Mother.
Only if she's bringing him tea and crumpets while she's doing this, right? With butter on the, dude. You started it. You sick bastard. Should we go to commercial? You sick fuck.
No.
No. Oh man, my timing is.
We'll be right back after this.
We'll see you in a succulent second.
Succulent second. In the mood for a freshly roasted cup of coffee? www.offtherailscoffeeroasters.com.
And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
Hi, it's John from Under the Table Hot Sauce. I'm here with my friend, the star of the show, Jimmy Pharaoh.
Yeah, what's up, JB?
Nah, nothing.
It's been a hot summer, and for all your barbecue needs, you can go to underthetablehotsauce.com. 13 unique flavors to choose from, created and bottled in a Long Island kitchen. Underthetablehotsauce.com. Let's go chow, JB.
Let's do it.
All the flavor, twice the burn.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, with our guest, Bruce from ESO Creative. Patrick Rose says, Bruce, Sean is gay, Marty okay. Thoughts on that?
I got to agree. I mean, I've always been a bigger fan of Marty. Sean, not so much.
He's the kid. You know he's sexy. He's got the looks.
Dude, we got to keep this whole podcast thing going on because you know what, people bringing up good points. How about keeping it real 100 with Conan and Disco?
Love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I do. I enjoy it.
It depends
But I
on
like
the
disco.
content.
I like disco.
It really
Yeah.
depends on the content that they're talking about. Sometimes it
Yeah.
can be really dry.
Okay. I think disco steps on Conan a little too much, but hey, I could say that.
Told Zest said Poffo had a podcast for a while. You want to tell that story?
Oh, that was wonderful. If everybody can do a podcast, why can't I?
That happened to
Wait,
us
wait.
twice.
3 weeks later. I had to do the SpongeBob narrator. 3 weeks later, he's gone. I was like, what happened?
That happened with Disco. Disco was on our show,
Right.
and all of a sudden we
This
got
is
this
true.
whole conversation. He was blown away that we were really just having this battle.
Well, we had a script.
Yeah.
And Disco was like, you guys do, like, come prepared? Like, he wasn't doing a podcast yet. You could see this, his wheels were spinning, though. They were.
So all of a sudden Disco has it, and the funny thing is, Pafo all of a sudden decides he's on
Right,
our
he
show. He's
thought so,
gonna do it
too.
anyway,
Right, yeah, yeah.
And he did a cut, but he told the same stories
Right.
over,
Right.
over
Right.
that he already was
Right.
told everybody other podcasts,
He
and then
quickly-
he just ran out of ran out of
He
material.
quickly, I think he got bored with it real fast.
Pretty
much.
For somebody who likes to hear himself talk so much, you would think he had more to say.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I figured Lanny would be on for years doing that sort of thing. And it's not like he's not engaging, so that was surprising.
I just think if you're gonna just talk about wrestling, there's only so many stories
Right.
you can tell.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Does to me. Does to me.
We've all, how many times have we all heard the same stories?
Right. Right.
Do you ever hear the same story on a podcast, and it's more engaging than when you heard it the first time?
Depends on the interviewer.
Might be a different perspective. Maybe just for instance, the Bruiser Brody thing. I mean, from hearing Savio Vega's side of it, Tony Atlas's side of it,
Kind of piecemeals it together, right?
yeah.
The Rowdy Roddy Piper podcast.
I have no thoughts on that. I don't think I've ever even looked at it.
I don't think there is one.
He didn't try it years ago?
I
Well, don't forget, YouTube's been around a long time. This could have been something in archives.
No,
for a
I
while.
understand.
I have no
understand.
idea. Is that what they're doing? Because he's dead?
Yeah, that's
It's pretty macabrely funny, though. I got to give it to him. What else we got? Anybody else?
Bane is saying, how about Billy
The
Jack
Umaga
Haynes doing a
podcast?
shoot interview on Hannibal, LOL.
What was that? Billy Jack Haynes?
Yeah.
Oh, that was horrendous.
Billy was on ours, too. Billy was
cool.
a good, but
I like
Billy,
Billy.
that was early on.
Yeah,
And
I like Billy.
I got to tell you, he threw us off our game. Like, we were new to it.
Right.
And we're asking questions. This guy was all over the fucking map.
He was.
We could not control the interview.
was.
He was jumping from one
Wow,
thing
how
to
could
and,
he
and
control
everybody's
it?
like, let him talk. If we let
We
him
did
talk,
nothing but let him.
He would tell that story for an
50
hour.
minutes. Right. We would have no
And you would
questions.
have nothing. He would just
Right.
tell
Right.
some story, and
Right.
it would have never ended.
Right.
As an interviewer, my belief is you got to keep control of the guest.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You ask a question, and you got to realize when it's kind of going off the rails.
Right.
And you got to try to pull
Right.
it back. And there's other material too, right? You don't want to just have one 40-minute conversation on one thing unless
Right.
it's that engaging.
Right.
Like the Bruiser Brody thing, like you brought
That's
up.
engaging.
That's an engaging, long
Exactly. 'Cause
story.
he took us through the whole day.
You're
and the
going
whole-
through the whole thing.
Yeah, he took us through the whole event. Absolutely. And not for nothing too. I mean, you can have multiple interviews from multiple different interviewers. And I do believe that the interviewer himself makes a difference sometimes in the comfortable level of the guest, what he's going to offer up to you. So, I believe we've done fairly well with that, getting wrestlers to drop their guard and just be themselves.
All right,
I do think it makes a
We
difference.
got to do some role reversal here. Bane is asking you, could you imagine Billy Jack interviewing Hannibal? So you be Billy Jack, and Bruce, you
Why
be
do I
Hannibal.
have to be Billy Jack?
You're Billy Jack interviewing Hannibal. Let's see how that would work out.
Hannibal, why don't you tell us about the time that you claim, I have a lot of claims too. You claimed that Abdullah the Butcher gave you hepatitis. Could you explain why?
You see, back in like 2013 or so, I tested positive for hepatitis, and I think it must have been Abdullah.
Well, I'm sorry. Did you answer the question, Hannibal? I'll give you a chance to answer the question.
What was the question again?
Let's liven this up. Let's bring Don Morocco into the conversation. Well, I really don't know what happened. I guess maybe it might have. Maybe you did get hepatitis. Maybe you didn't. I really don't know.
Well, my entire WWF career was put on hold because of it. I could have been world champion.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Leo's asking, what do you guys think of lapsed fan podcast? I've never even
A
heard of
lapsed fan?
it. Never even heard
I
of
don't
it.
even know what it is.
Never even heard of it.
Okay. Okay.
Look, we've bored our producer so bad, he's walking out right now.
What?
He's like,
There goes
what
Spidey.
fuck
Spidey's
is
like,
going on
this
here?
sucks.
All right, guys, real quick, let's talk about AEW last night. We're gonna kind of
AEW?
We're gonna do a double shot. Okay.
Okay, all right.
I want you guys to weigh in.
All right. What do we got?
We already
AEW.
talked about Paige's return, probably the hardest part of the night. What do you think about Jericho winning the Ring of Honor World title?
Good for the company. It's good for Ring of Honor. It's good for the name of Ring of Honor, but I don't really know what it means from here because I just feel like Ring of Honor is just like Tony Khan's spare project. So if I'm the people behind Ring of Honor, I would be thrilled that Jericho's their champion. It certainly can't hurt them. But where it goes, I don't expect much. I don't know what else to really offer about that. But good for Chris Jericho. Like you said, he's held every belt ever invented, right? Pretty much.
Yep.
Anything that means anything, Chris Jericho has held.
Let's do this. This is a good point.
Yeah.
RJ wants us to do Hannibal and the English guy James. Do you want to be the English guy James and I'm Hannibal, or should I be James?
No, I
you
could,
Hannibal?
I could do the English guy.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm Hannibal.
All right. Well, Hannibal, it seems like you've been put on house arrest, and you're with Mummy and Daddy. Are you getting
Wait a minute. Don't talk about my mommy and daddy. I want to give your mommy catalingus.
Well, I don't know if that's going to be possible. She's not home right now.
Does your
but-
mommy have nice tits?
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. We'll be right back after these messages.
That's terrible.
I'm getting out! The kid's getting out! He's talking about cunnilingus with his mother! What do you mean that's terrible? That kid's out of here! He's not fucking dealing with that. That's awful, cunnilingus.
Phil says Jericho now becomes one of the most diversely decorated champions in history.
Of course. Him and Zack Ryder. Congratulations. I'm kidding. I am
It's
kidding
kind of
about
funny,
that.
though. He's
Jericho's
going backwards a little
obviously-
bit, though.
Huh?
He's going backwards a little bit. He's been world champion. Now he's down to Ring of Honor.
He's Ring of Honor world champion. No, I agree, though. I love Chris Jericho. His resume is insane.
All right, I want everybody,
You know,
let's weigh in on
absolutely
the
insane.
tag team match that everybody was so excited for. The Acclaimed against Swerve Your Glory. I'm going to weigh in, guys. I'm sorry. I thought it was the worst friggin' tag team match in the history of tag team
that's
matches.
not
It was so off. There must have been so many spots where the Acclaimed were supposed to win the title, and they failed. What do you think?
I don't think that's a very progressively popular opinion. I completely agree with you. You know, the fans wanted this. What did you want this one so bad for? Why don't you wait when we get down to the bottom of it? What'd you want it so bad for? I think I might know why, but I'm not sure. We're gonna leave it alone.
Isn't the idea behind
big
this in any kind of promoting
Yeah.
is that if a fan really wants something that bad, you continue the chase
Absolutely.
instead of just giving them what they want?
Right. Yeah, but this is the company of instant gratification. You haven't figured that one out? It is. It's run by a fan, a little monkey fan who's got daddy's football money, and he's going to appease his fellow marks. And that's it. I hate to be so mean about this, but that's how I feel about it. He's just a rich fan. His father's football team sucks shit, and his booking sucks shit, and all basically he does is just grab WWE guys.
Almighty One says Keith Lee currently in catering.
There you go.
This
That's
is why
a lot of
Vince
catering,
McMahon
by the way.
This is why Vince McMahon is always right.
Yeah.
He knew a guy that size had no longevity, and if you have no longevity, it
Right.
equals no marketability.
Right.
Right? It's really simple math
Right,
here.
right.
So, no longevity, no marketability. Yes, you can catch that lightning in a bottle, right? But even the lightning in a bottle is longevity.
Right.
Like, if you want to consider the Ultimate Warrior lightning in a bottle,
Right.
he had longevity.
Right.
You know, whether 2-3 years, right?
Right.
Keith Lee, on the other hand, you could see at his weight right now, for the things that he was popular for, like
Right.
doing the small man moves,
Right.
he can't do them anymore.
You know what? I got 2 words for you, being Jet fans. Mekhi Becton.
There you go.
Uh-oh. There goes another big overweight dude. There he goes. Gotta have one more hamburger, huh, Harry? Yep. Oh, well. They don't last. It's a shame. They're great when they're great, but they ain't great for very long. Yep. I agree.
Leo says Tony Gurria post here. Sometimes you guys should get him on the show. We actually were going to have him on the show.
Tony
but,
Gurria, I'd love to have on the show. Are you kidding?
All right, so look, we got about 7 minutes left.
7 minutes to
If
midnight.
everybody's aware, I will be out of
Quarter to 10.
commission for about a month or so, so
Right.
I'll miss you guys, but the show will go on. Bruce will be with the Pharaoh. So, Bruce, what can we expect between you and the Pharaoh for the next month?
Entertainment.
Madcap adventures.
Madcap adventures.
Shenanigans. Hijinks.
Hijinks, shenanigans.
A laugh track? Can we have a laugh track?
Absolutely.
Oh, boy, this show's really going off the rails. We're going to have a laugh track. That would be pretty funny. Jared, can you supply a laugh track?
Leo says we should be the first ones to interview Sonny after she gets out of the can. So Sonny was
Sonny is
supposed
not.
to be it,
Sonny's not getting out of the can.
and she's
No
not getting
time
out of
soon.
the can.
She's not getting out of the can.
She is not getting out of
Her
the can.
boyfriend, I heard, mortgaged his house.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Put it up for bail.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I guess he wanted to protect her. I don't know, protect her from what? I think we need to be protected from Sonny. The public needs to be protected from people like Sonny. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
It's gotten to that point. You know, what is she, 50-something now, Mikey?
Yeah, something like
No,
that.
she hasn't learned by now. She's not going to learn. That's it.
AEW.
You know?
Should Danielson have been the champion or Moxley? Did they make a mistake putting the belt on Moxley?
I know you guys disagree. I don't think they made a mistake. I think Moxley is a good champion.
As far as their booking goes, I understand why they did it. And I don't think it's a bad booking decision. On a business level, I still feel like Daniel Bryan is more businessly successful than a Moxley would be if you're trying to get out to even more people. You know, if you're trying to draw in maybe some of the WWE crowd that still loves him. Maybe they already have those people watching. I don't think they have them all. You know, I think they have some of the fans that used to watch him in WWE, but I don't think they have them all. I don't know.
Yeah. And maybe I'm a little bit biased against Danielson. I mean, he comes across a little dry to me.
Right.
I mean,
I'm not a fan of Bryan Danielson.
Phenomenal wrestler.
Bryan,
Phenomenal.
You know, one
Bryan
thing,
Danielson,
you know,
Daniel
you said
Bryan, whatever the
Moxley's a good champion, good draw. He's not, in my opinion, but Danielson has that
more
background.
drawing power. Yeah, in his career he has, of course. He's been a bigger star, obviously. But you know, again, I don't think that this company is not truly growing their neck. You know, a Goldberg or WCW came up with the NWO. What are they coming up with that's going to shoot them into such a high stratosphere? I'm not seeing it. I just see that their main stars are a lot of older WWE stars. That seems to be what's going on.
And I think Triple H taking over creative gave WWE such another boost in the arm.
I agree. They want to wrestle for him. A lot of the people, they want to stay
Again,
with
I
him.
think that's overrated too. I don't see any difference in the show. I mean, look, yeah, there's difference. Okay,
I think there
I
is.
think he's the good ideas that he's brought back. He's bringing back Karrion Kross was the right thing to do.
Right.
Bringing back
Well, Johnny Gargano's there now, and I think that's the right thing to do.
right or Dexter.
Dexter Loomis. You love Dexter Loomis.
do.
What is your deal with Dexter Loomis? Why do you love Dexter Loomis so much?
I just love the angle.
That's Sam Shaw.
And I read something on Facebook, and I got to ask you this question now.
Okay.
So the WWE has that QC marker where you could scan it, and Friday's supposed to be the day. What if the Fiend comes back tomorrow night, Karrion Kross is the rabbit? Someone put this on Facebook, and I'm like, this is a pretty good idea. What's the valet for Kross, whatever her name is? They all are the
Scarlet?
They're all the characters that Bray Wyatt brought, like the rabbit and the squirrel, all that shit.
Oh.
And Liv Morgan. Like, what would you think if
wow.
that was the group? And not my idea. I read it, and I'm like, that's some smart
You mean
shit.
Alexa was part of his deal, too? No? I mean,
Yeah,
Alexa,
yes, but not in this particular situation.
Oh, not in this particular situation. Look, I'll take Bray Wyatt back any way you can give him to me. Quite honestly, I think he's one of the most brilliant minds as far as wrestlers go in this business that have creative input. I think he's brilliant. Any thoughts on Bray Wyatt there?
No, I would love to see him back. I mean, you
wish
have
he'd show up
a
already.
generational wrestler there that
RJ, thank you, Scarlett. You're right.
you can't deny the guy's talent,
I love Bray Wyatt.
and he's so creative too.
He is. I think he's a genius, personally.
Again, I think RJ says Alexa Bliss would be better. How
Yeah,
do you like
yeah.
the Liv Morgan project?
I think.
By the way, Rick B says he likes the hoodies.
Thanks, Rick. I love Liv Morgan as champion.
Really?
I think
Really?
she's got a different type of charisma. I think having her, well, her and Rousey thing, I was just really wanting to see Ronda lose. I think that's kind of why I
I
enjoy
hated
Liv.
that. It didn't seem realistic to me. She's not grabbing me. Is Liv Morgan grabbing you, Mike?
I think this project is almost done.
Yeah.
So
I don't
when I
feel it.
read
I don't
that
feel it.
whole situation where the Bray Wyatt thing, Liv Morgan would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
I will tell you who's totally won me over is Rhea Ripley.
Oh, she's cool.
I never found her attractive at all.
Wait a minute. This is I thought you meant she's turned you as a wrestler. Are you telling me? You
No,
think
but
she's hot?
now it's like I love her as a wrestler.
Wait a minute.
And
Wait a minute.
she is hot as hell,
You
man.
want her to be your mama.
Well,
She wants to punish you. You like what she's doing with Dominic? Is that what you're getting at?
I'm loving it.
Wow.
I'm
you
loving it.
sick man. Very interesting.
I think
She's great, though.
if Triple H is making a difference, that's where he's making a difference. He's making the moves. Again, I don't like the Dominic attacking his father. I like him breaking away from his father. I don't like him attacking his father. I think that is still.
Here's a weird
unrealistic.
thought. If Dominic wrestled Rhea should win. Should beat the shit out
Yeah.
of him. She should beat the shit out of him and pile drive him and pin him.
How do you guys
Right?
feel?
Right?
I-
Mike
Are
makes
you-
right, and Rhea's a big. I would never mess with Rhea.
Are you one of the guys that are going to be upset when Charlotte Flair finally returns and she defeats Bianca
Roman Reigns?
Belair? No, she'll defeat Bianca Belair for the title.
I won't be.
No,
People
I
are
mean,
gonna go crazy.
Charlotte's going to be a legend no matter what.
But people are gonna boo if she beats the people's Bianca Belair. Could you see the fans? They're gonna. You giving her the belt again? You're giving her the opportunity that can
Roy
go to
Batista
others
says something I
less fortunate.
totally agree with. Wyatt is a great mind, but he as a wrestler, he's average at best.
I don't-
Totally agree.
I don't agree
I've
with
always
that.
agreed.
I-
Bray Wyatt is a very overrated wrestler.
Average to me in the ring is not Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is definitely above average wrestler. He's not a Daniel Bryan or a Kurt Angle. I understand that. But go back and watch Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. Boy, oh boy, did they have some matches. Holy shit. They really did. And their opposite styles complemented each other, too. I mean, Bray Wyatt's had some good matches. I think he's pretty damn serviceable in the ring. You know, he's no Bret Hart, obviously, but he's pretty damn good.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's the show. I want to thank everybody for joining us on Thursdays. Catch us next Thursday. We'll catch Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh. Catch Monte and the Pharaoh on every type of audio and video program out there. Catch us on the Monte the Pharaoh Facebook Live page. Here's on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, and also New York Cable, where we're over 100,000 viewers weekly. Next week, again, Bruce in the house. Thank you for filling in. Pharaoh, which one do you want to send us out?
Oh, well, you've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh. And until next week, later.